I do know that my voice, a lot of people be like, Queen, make a gospel album right now. Stop R&B and,
Really?
Lord is coming back and things like that. And I'd be like,
because he is.
I'd be so convicted, like, but, and I also grew up in like that very like religious kind of vibe where the prophets would come and be like, your voice is for the Lord. Don't use it for, but as y'all can see, I'm doing R&B. So that has always been like a struggle with me, but I have learned over time. It's more so like, I'm just trying to get my relationship right with God so that I could hear from him directly.
Yes.
So he could tell me when he's ready for me to stop doing R&B, because I can't say that he hasn't used me even during doing R&B, you know?
Yeah, no, for
and
sure.
I do feel like there is going to be a point in time where he might tell me, okay, it's time to, it's time to do, I don't know, completely worship music, or it's time. I feel like how I come though is going to be way different.
Yeah.
It's going to be from just a traditional gospel. So I do plan to do that, but I just know once I do it, like, it's going to take a lot of consecration, being set apart. I'm not trying to be dibbling, dabbling, doing this and that when I do that, because I want it to be very, like,
I'm with
genuine,
you. Yes.
you know?
Yeah, and honorable to him.
All right, so Queen Naija said that it was up. She's waiting on God to tell her when he wants her to stop doing R&B. That's the first time I've heard of her, because I don't listen to any new music. But does anybody know like the type of music that she does?
R&B, I guess that's it.
No,
yeah.
I'm saying like, is it like, raunchy R&B? Is it more like
The
he
same
loves me R&B?
emotional, toxic relationship R&B.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's interesting to me that people will know everything it's going to take to do something gospel related,
just won't do it.
and just won't do it. And it's like, so the real question is, if you know that you can do this for the Lord and you know what it's going to take, what's your real reason for not wanting to do it right now? And so the fact of the matter is, you're chasing your own little secular dreams, trying to make some money and build your own platform. And what you're doing right now is esteeming that over using your gifts and talents for the Lord.
Oh, yeah.
And it don't have to, and people get confused, like you can still be creative and do unique things, giving your music to the Lord. It ain't got to say, well, Matthew 25, and you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can still be creative and unique and artistic with doing things for the Lord, but they put Christian anything in such a box where it has to be corny or lame. They don't even give it a chance, but you sit here and just indict it yourself. You pretty much say you know what it's going to take and why you need to do it, but you say you're not going to do it. So essentially what you're doing is choosing your own desires and your own worldly ambition over the Lord. And it sounded cute and it sounded pleasant when you said it, like, man, like you had so much respect for God. But do you respect him enough to lay down what you're doing and go over here and do it? You got to be real with yourself.
And she's waiting on his voice. She said she was waiting to hear from him. So that's implying that, you understand or the voice of God in your life. When she said that. So I think a lot of people, you could fall into a trap, sitting there like, I'm waiting on God to say it. So what is that going to sound like? It could be, that conviction we keep hearing, those are two separate, clips, and the word conviction came up. Yeah. It's like, wow,
Yeah. We have a friend. I have a friend, but we started our podcast in the same year. Like, we started Trackstarz, and he started his thing. He's been retired off his podcast for like 7 years now. And it's like, when I talk to him, he's just chilling, cashing checks or whatever. His podcast is geared towards secular hip hop. And so when I told him I was doing Christian hip hop, he was like, okay, how long you going to last with that? And it's interesting because, there's a dynamic there, because it's like, man, we get up and we do this and we have committed. And it's not so much that we've committed to doing this for the Lord. It's just we've committed to the Lord first. Yeah. And we do this to give him honor, to give him, to elevate his name above our name. And so it's hard to do that. Yeah. It's hard to not think that the world is going to give you an easier pass, or that things are going to be more, better for you financially, or, people you're gonna have more fans and more people like you and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of scrutiny with that, and so I do see where what James was saying is like, you are choosing your own worldly ambition over what God's plan is for your life, His purpose for you. And it just makes me wonder about how, why do we gravitate to fame? You know, why is it about the numbers? Why is it about the views? Why is it about the likes, right? And it's like, you can give a lot of different excuses as to why you do it that way. You can give a lot of different excuses. But at the end of the day, it's because you want to be known.
Well,
At the end of the day.
Everybody want to feel like they matter in some capacity.
Yeah.
But what about, is it, I think sometimes we go hard in the paint on people in the celebrity world when they when they're thinking about coming to Christ. And I say that because, and I applaud when we talked about earlier about Black China, when she was like, okay, she called somebody, she called a bishop, was like, Bishop, I'm really about to give up OnlyFans. I applaud her for that. But there's some celebrities that's like, this is my livelihood. Me singing is my livelihood. And I'm not saying I don't trust God, but just like everybody in this room, in the area of our lives, God is like, hey, trust me with this, and you still holding on to it. You still clinging on to it. So I think for a celebrity, I don't know Queen Naija. I've heard a few songs of hers. But I think at the end of the day, she's still trying to figure that out. Like, if I have a livelihood, if this is me singing R&B is my livelihood, I don't know what's on this gospel side. I don't know if I do a gospel album, y'all gonna support it.
That's just like me saying, if I sell drugs, I know what I'm gonna make. But if I get a job, I don't know what's on that.
No, but no, I get that point. But I think the difference is like, in her mind, she's not. My voice is not hurting people. She doesn't think that her voice is hurting. She's just thinking, I'm doing a couple love songs and these people coming to watch me perform. And I'm not giving her like a pass. I'm just saying, I think sometimes we don't think about how we think it's easy just to turn away and just walk away from something where somebody's like, I pay other musicians, I pay other singers, I do this, I got people on my payroll. This is a lot for me. So y'all pray for me that I make the right decision with this, because it's easy to just say, hey, I'm not doing OnlyFans anymore, versus, hey, somebody's calling me to do a tour that will pay my bills for the rest of the year.
But is it different though?
It's faith, bro.
It's faith. It's still their livelihood, whether it's OnlyFans or whether you're going on tour. It's still livelihood, and it's still something that you have to trust that God is going to provide for you for.
Lay it down.
And I agree totally with what he said, as far as like a lot of times we're waiting on God to tell us something that he already told us. Or you waiting on God to give you an audible experience, this encounter, when it's in the Bible.
Stop singing R&B.
Yeah.
Exactly. You got itching ears. You know what you got to do.
Right.
And to be honest, we got to have the faith to do it. And then the interesting part of it is, so you're doing all this, you're building all this, you're working all that, which I think is a worthiness issue as well. Because who am I when I let all of this go? Because this is all who I've been. I was an American Idol, because that's what somebody said in the comments. I'm doing all these things. I'm trying to achieve this thing. I want to matter. If I leave this and I don't get what I've been working for, who am I going to be in that? I have to trust God even with my identity, because that's going to be a switch and a change as well. Mm-hmm. But like, all that you're working for, you're going to have to leave anyway. So you stay in this, even though God is clearly pulling you to him, because there's Christian R&B and it's dope. Yeah, it is. Sis, we actually need you on this side or whatever.
But in the interview, she did talk about, because the other lady that was interviewing her, she's a actress on a Tyler Perry show, and she was talking about her. But in the interview, she was saying like, no, it's some really good Christian R&B out here that you need to go check out, and it's really good that you need to see that you can do this. Like, you can really do this.
You could do this. That requires that faith to step out, because everything you're building on this end, you can't necessarily take with you. And then also, baby, if all these rapture proclamations was true, you would have been left here. And you know the Lord. Well, know of him. You have an idea. Oh, you know the Lord. It's like, at the end of the day, we have to literally look at some of this stuff in literal black and white. What is it for me to chase the world and lose my soul? You're chasing the world right now. You could have got left a couple days ago chasing the world, when God is telling you, you love music, you can still do it and honor me at the same time. I'm inviting you into that, to trust me, to still do what you want to do and honor me at the same time, because all that you're building, you're going to have to leave it anyway.
Now, this is one thing, and I was just thinking about this. This is a attempt, sometime I think with R&B artists, this is a temptation. Because if you think about it, I've been to concerts before. I think everybody here has been to concerts, right? and like let's say somebody like a Anthony Hamilton could be singing, and then maybe at the end of his show, Fantasia's done this, start singing a Christian song. When you think about the songs that you heard him sing before he sang the Christian songs, as a married man with my wife, there really wasn't anything derogatory with the message that was being promoted through those particular songs. Now, of course, I've heard some of Queen Naija stuff, and nowadays a lot of the R&B is a little toxic, you know.
Yeah.
So it's not like it used to be back in the day. But there are certain artists that I can't like my Christian mind wanted to be like, oh no, you shouldn't be doing that Molly music. You know what I'm saying? But then it's like I'm listening to the songs and it's like, okay.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, it really like does it gotta always be, and no, sometimes the super Christian in me be wanting to be like, no, it just need to be this way all the time. And it's like, no, wait a minute, that was really a nice, wholesome night I was able to have with my wife. Yeah. And then he might have sung a Christian something, but I didn't feel like it was, you know, like derogatory. Yeah. So I don't know, and some of them get caught in trying to figure out what that is, you know, that they called to do.
But Charlene ain't against the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Come on home, Charlene. Yeah. That ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying?
But I think going back to what you said, your Christian side, I think people feel that way. It's like it's all or nothing. It's like the movie Sinners when we had that conversation about Sinners. It's like you're like she just said, you're doing the devil's music. If it ain't glorifying God, it's the devil. It's not either or. It is either or. It's not like you're it's not positive, because even some positive is very new age the philosophy. So I think at the end of the day, I think that's what the weight on her heart is when she was talking was, you know, I want to do this, but I want to make sure when I do this, God is telling me to do it, and I'm not just doing it because Christians are forcing me to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because and at the end of the day, we've seen, we talked about that just a few minutes ago. We've seen when Christians force people to do certain stuff, and then a couple years later, they believing in something totally different.
Yeah.
So I think we have to understand that, like, but I do agree with Shania said, like, you can't play with God's timing. Like, you don't know when you don't know when your time clock is gonna come to an end. You know what I mean? And what I mean, your life. Like, we don't know when you're gonna clock out. Yeah.
If you're aware of what he's saying, God no spoke.
Right.
That part.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on God to tell me.
Yeah. But I would say this, like we do have, and the shameless plug, we do have a Christian R&B playlist. Y'all can go check out. If you're watching this, it's called Feel Good on Spotify. We still trying to do Apple Music. I'm not a big fan of Apple Music. I know people don't like Spotify, but hey, if you're on Spotify, it's called Feel Good. It's a Christian R&B and Afro beats, Afro gospel playlist that we promote. That I change every week and stuff like that. So it's a playlist online. So yeah.